Hey there drone fans, Rick here again from Drone Valley. In today's clip, I'd like to show you a brand new landing gear kit for your DJI Mini 2 that we've been out testing for the last couple of weeks. Now you might already be thinking, Rick, what is a landing gear kit and why do I need one? Well, both of those are great questions, so let me try and answer those questions by giving you a little bit of background of where the Mini 2 came from. So a couple of years ago, DJI released the original Mavic Pro, and when that drone hit the market, it was an epiphany of design. It was so radically different than anything else that was on the market at the time, because up until then, we were all flying these fixed airframe drones like the Phantom 4 that look all the same. They all had four arms sticking out with motors on the top of them and camera hanging underneath, and they work great. There's nothing wrong with them, but they were big and bulky and hard to take along, so if you wanted to take it with you on vacation, you're bringing a case that's the size of a suitcase on the airplane with you, and you had to think about, geez, do I want to bring the drone or not? So what DJI did, in their brilliance, is they sat down and said, we're going to build a folding drone that makes it extremely portable, but still has the flight characteristics of one of the fixed airframe drones. So the Mavic Pro was the first model that they came out with, and I looked at that drone and I said, when it was released, I said, this is going to change the game. This is going to be the future of drones going forward. And sure enough, everybody now has folding drones. And DJI kept that design philosophy through the entire Mavic line. So they came out with the Mavic Pro, the Mavic 2, the Mavic Air, which was a little bit different, the Mavic Air 2, the Mavic Mini, and now the Mini 2. And if you look at the Mini 2 and compare it to a Mavic Pro, it's almost the same design, but tiny. It's like they took the Mavic Pro and left it in the dryer too long and it shrunk down, but it's still a folding drone. And again, it's a brilliant design because it allows you to fold it up, put it in your bag, take it with you. You don't even have to think about bringing the drone along. It's just that small. The challenge with a folding drone is because it's small, it doesn't provide a lot of ground clearance. So on the front, if you look closely, that camera is so close to the ground that if you put it down and you put it down in dirt or put it down on grass, even if you put it down in a parking lot, the minute you spin up the props, that backwash, that undercurrent of air going through there is going to kick up dust and debris that's going to get up inside the gimbal and the camera. So ever since the Mavic Pro hit the market, we've been on the hunt for what we're calling a landing gear kit that adds a little bit of height to get it that much further off the ground. Now you wouldn't think an inch or two would make a big difference, but I'm here to tell you it does, especially if you're landing the drone in a field, because if this comes down in grass, that grass is probably going to be wet during the summers, and all that moisture and gunk that's on that grass is going to get transferred up into the camera and the gimbal, which are the most sensitive parts of the drone. So the landing gear essentially snaps on all four arms, and when you use it before you take off or when you're landing, you open it up. So it gives you a little extra height, which takes it up off the ground, allows that gimbal and camera to go through its sort of self-test routine to make sure that it's got freedom of movement and you're not going to be scratching up your camera. So this is what it looks like. It's really lightweight. It adds about 8 grams of weight to the drone, so we'll put you over the 250 mark. But I think for me, when people ask me what accessories do I need for my drone, the first two things I tell them are get a landing mat and get a landing gear kit, because you want to protect that camera and gimbal. And even if you're not scratching the camera, that gimbal motor inside there is really sensitive. So if you restrict the movement because it's trying to move the camera and it's scratching against maybe a mat or against the ground, you can definitely damage that gimbal. So the landing gear kit is essentially something you snap on the drone and you can open them up and the drone will lift off the ground. Now next I'm going to show you just how easy it is to put it on the drone. And the set we've used here that we tested like 4 or 5 different sets. We picked this one because it's the perfect combination of cost, functionality, durability, all the things that I care about when I'm looking at accessories. It matches the color of the drone. The best part is it can stay on the drone when you pack it away for the afternoon. So you just fold them up, put it back in your case, and you're good to go. When you're ready to fly next time, you can pop them back on the drone, or I should say open them up on the drone, put the drone down, you get the little extra height, and you can take off and fly it. It has no effect on the flight characteristics whatsoever. We've done extensive testing to make sure it's not going to interfere with the antennas on the front or the RF signals, communication between the drone and the actual controller. It's plastic, so it's essentially invisible to those RF radio waves that are being cast out. It's just a wonderful thing to use on the drone. So stay tuned and I'll show you next how to put them on, and then I'll come back with some final thoughts. Installing the kit's incredibly easy. There are 2 front legs and 2 rear legs. The rear legs are different, so you need to make sure you line them up correctly. And the way you install them is you'll basically just slide this leg over the arm like that, and then slide it up till you hear a click, just like that. Same on the other side. So I'll slide it over the leg and then slide it up till you hear a click. On the front legs, I like to lay it down like this, and they just slide over these front arms, and they're friction fit on there, so they hold on nice and tight. They're not going to flop off. Now to close these up, you pinch these down, hear them snap closed, and fold these in against the legs. And that way you can pack it up when you're done for the day. If you need to use them, just open them up. You'll pop these up. Make sure you fully open these fronts because there is a locking mechanism. And once you have them fully opened, that's pretty much it. And you're ready to go. Just that simple. One other point I wanted to make is there is a screw on the back. You're not going to have to tighten these. They're friction fit again tight here, but if you need to, you can gently tighten that screw a little bit. Don't tighten it too much because you're screwing into plastic on the back, but if these get loose over time, you can tighten that up if you have to. But I've used these now for, geez, I think about 3 months. I've had no issues whatsoever about tightening them. They should move pretty freely. The kit adds about 1 inch of clearance. Now the first shot here is the drone without the kit installed. And this next picture is showing the drone with the kit installed with the legs extended, and you can see just how much extra space you've got there between that camera and the ground. Now look how close that camera comes when you're going through the power on self-test. That camera's going to wiggle around. You can imagine if you had that sitting on grass or in dirt that it would definitely rub up against something. Okay, you can see how easy it is to actually add these to your drone, and when you're done for the day, just fold them up like this. Put it back in your case and you're good to go. They're not going to interfere whatsoever with the drone getting back in your case. Now, I know a lot of folks out there like to hand launch and hand catch, and they're thinking, Rick, I'm never going to use those landing gear. You may. I mean, think about it for a second. If you hand launch, a lot of times you put the drone up and you're flying for 20 minutes and the wind kicks up. And all of a sudden you get a drone coming back down that's moving around up there. And the last thing you want to do is be reaching up for a drone that's going like this, because essentially you've got a Cuisinart flying in the air that you're putting your fingers up near. So there may be times where you have to land the drone somewhere else, maybe find a parking lot or something. So having these landing gear on there guarantee that you've got that extra height where you can put it down. You're not going to have to worry about debris and junk getting up inside the camera and the gimbal assembly. So anyway, we use them every time we fly. I use them on all my drones. We have models that fit everything from the Mavic Pro all the way through the brand new Mini 2. So if you need these, I've got a link below where you can go to our website and you can actually pick them up, because anytime we find a product like this that we like and we use, I like to bring it in and offer it up on the website. And that way you know we've tested it. We'll be here if you have questions. If you have any problems with it, we'll be here as well. It's just a good thing for everybody. So that's all I had for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I say this every time, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button down there, because we got a lot of contests coming up where we're giving away a lot of cool stuff, and I got a ton of reviews coming up on high-tech gear that you're not going to want to miss. So I say it every time, join the Drone Valley family, because we'd love to have you here. We're having a great time and you're going to really enjoy the clips. And that's pretty much it. So thanks again for watching, and until next time, happy flying.